Today we're talking about managing difficult teams on the construction project sites. Y'all know it can be super tough, super stressful. We've got issues that we're dealing with and conflict and all those things that are spinning as we're trying to get our jobs done, trying to meet these deadlines, trying to get our work in place. So I'm excited to talk to you about this today, but before we get there, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, send me some comments about what you think about this video, share what your stories look like out there and when it comes to managing your teams. What are you doing out there? How's it working? What's not working for you? This is a whole team effort. This is a whole community of people who are trying to get together to talk about construction projects and what we're doing in them to create that success. So let's dive right into it so we can hit this thing with the ground running. So the first thing I want to talk about today is building trust through clear communication. If you don't have people that trust you, that is one of the most important traits or attributes of a leader, is the ability for people to build trust with your team. There's nothing fluffy about building trust. It is essential. It is the lifeblood of the people that are allegedly following you. But if they don't trust you, they're only gonna follow you when they're in your space. And when you're somewhere else, they're gonna do what they wanna do, how they wanna do it, because they don't believe in you. You can be the loudest person on the job site. You can be the screamer, the yeller, the person who throws things, the threatener, has people walking in fear all day. But I guarantee you that when you're not in their space, they're doing what they want and it's not productive. Be counterproductive for you and the efficiency that you're expecting from them. So building trust is not an easy thing to do, but it's an essential aspect of every leader. We have to be able to build trust and get our teams that clarity. Very critical part. So how do we do that? How do we communicate? How do we set expectations? That we have clear communication with our teams. There is no mystery about what they need, what we need from them. It's super clear. When I was in the field and given direction, my team knew what success looked like and what failure looked like. Because I laid it out, and it minimized the ability for there to be this favoritism. One person's getting something that the other didn't get and they did the same thing. It's here's the goal, here's the mission, here's my expectation, here's the plan, here are the tools you need to execute that mission and plan safely. Go do it. That was my expectation and how I established, before I even knew that I was building trust through my clear communication. That's what I was doing. So that is one aspect of how you can begin to get people to want to follow you. One other area that's really important with managing difficult teams and building trust, it's about how you define your roles and responsibilities. It kind of ties into what I just mentioned about the expectations that you set, but each team member needs to understand their role on the project site. You have a general foreman, you have a foreman, and then you may have an apprentice, you may have a pre-apprentice. However your teams are laid out, you have folks that there's a hierarchy, responsibilities, and the way it's structured it's pretty clear, but sometimes it gets a little gray. Sometimes we as the leader has to set a tone to say, this is what I'm expecting from my team. This is what I'm expecting from you with your role. These are your responsibilities. This is the expectation I have from you of how productive I expect you to be. What does that look like? What does success look like in productivity for me? You have a goal that's set. Maybe it's a daily goal. Maybe it's amount of product, linear footage that you will put in a day. And you want to be super clear what that goal is and make it achievable. And then when it's not achieved, you have a way of how you structure the conversation of why do we miss it? Why do we not make the goal? And it's not always about the people who are out there executing. Sometimes there's indirect issues that affect our ability to be productive. But when you have a team that you have built trust with, they're going to communicate with you why potentially some of those obstacles that came about that we might have missed, and it prevented me from making the goal. So building trust is critically important. Clarity of conversations, defining the roles that you have are all part of how you build that trust. Another way that you can build trust on your team is regular check-ins. And maybe you have people who aren't necessarily, again, part of the leadership group, but they have some responsibilities that are important for you to share. And you might have a 5-minute check-in. You might have a longer check-in. communication. But either way, you are checking in with your team to kind of get a progress update. You set the tone or the frequency of how often that needs to happen. But it's, again, everybody's on the same page. It's kind of like that huddle. And you say, hey, let's huddle up, discuss this. Maybe it's in the morning. Maybe it's another one that happens at the end of the day. But everyone kind of gets in there, has an opportunity to kind of talk about the plan for the day, or talk about how the plan went for that day, what we should do differently tomorrow, what other obstacles came up, all those things that we can take for granted and make assumptions that people just get it and know. And we can also think that those daily huddles, those times that we come together for short moments to just connect, it may feel like a waste of time. I guarantee you it's not, because you are dispersing information to your team in real time based on real issues or conflicts or obstacles that they're facing, and they need some direction. And that's where we as leaders come in to play. So as you're having your toolbox talks, these are times to talk about those types of things. You're signing goals, you're making sure people understand the expectation, what they got to go out there and do and achieve in that day. You're setting the tone for success. You're making it super clear what success should look like. And you're addressing, hey, what if this doesn't work out the way we planned it? Here's plan B, or here's what you do, right? You get people collectively to engage in that conversation. And it's not just one person that has all the answers. It's a team effort, and you got to allow that so that you can build the trust that you need. Sometimes in your meetings, you got to ask open-ended questions. It's not just about yes or no all the time. Sometimes it's about sharing things with people so that you can test how they're going to engage. See who's actually ready to step up and become more of a leader for you. Who's going to take some initiative and who's going to take some risk and say, hey, I think we should try this because they thought about something that maybe you didn't think about. It helps you as someone stepping up to be a leader, maybe the ones who weren't expected to step up. Or in addition to the leaders that you have that are assigned, how they can help disperse the work and spread the wealth and make sure that you have all the folks kind of walking in the same direction. It's like no one feels like they're not empowered. And when everyone feels like, hey, maybe my role doesn't have a title. Maybe my role doesn't give me extra money yet, but it's important. And when our teams understand that those are important things to you as an ultimate leader, they're trying their best. They think they work with a fair boss that is looking out for their best interests, that wants them to be productive, wants them to be safe, wants them to execute at a high level. I'm gonna give all I got every day when I work for someone like that. But it requires that clear direction, the check-ins, the clarity in conversations, setting the expectations that are realistic, but challenging, but realistic. Another thing we can do is to emphasize how consistency builds trust, right? If we are flaky in how we communicate with our teams, if we are not on point with what we expect from them and wishy-washy, how do they know what the heck they need to get done? When one moment you said, we're gonna do X and you change the story the next day, right? So we gotta be consistent. We gotta have a team that knows that my word is my bond. If I said it, it's what I meant. If it changes and deviates, I'm going to make people aware of that, because what am I doing when I don't do that? I'm setting my people up to fail, and then I'm gonna blame them for the failure. But they all know that it was on me, and then I wanna work for you. So then there's that distrust, that seed that has been planted by not having clear communication with your team or being consistent at what you said. If there is a way for me to win and you set the goal with me about how I win and I go and achieve that goal and I don't win, that's a liar. That's someone who hasn't followed through on what they said is what they want from you, or vice versa. It's really important that we're consistent, that we're fair, that we set the ground rules for everyone and the expectations so that people understand how to execute, again, at a high level. Building trust is critical to the success. These teams that we lead are super dynamic. They're gonna always be in some kind of volatile, moving state that require a check-in, a huddle to make sure that we're aligned. It's like maintaining a vehicle. It's like having a steering wheel in a car. It don't just drive itself. It has to be adjusted. Someone there that's giving it guidance. And that's what we do as leaders. As leaders, when we get people that want to follow us, when we have people that choose to stand behind us and with us, able to take the direction that we give with clarity and move in the direction as one unit, we're doing our job. So when difficult challenges come, you have a way of managing it. I always remember one of the things I learned as a lean practitioner. One gentleman, one seminar I was in, he asked the question, why is it important for us to understand, say in a kinking of a hose, why is it important to know when flow stops, right? Think about a water hose. And we talk about, we want flow on a job. Flow means that things are just moving, right, in the right direction. When we have flow, there is uniform, there is a plan, there is a highly executed vision that is being demonstrated. But when that thing stops flowing, when we have good flow, it's easy to find out where the breakdown is. And that's one of the main reasons we want to have flow, is that it's easy to know, like the kink in the water hose. It may be 100 feet long, but there's no water coming out of the end and the water is coming in from the spout. But when we have a kink in that hose, it'll be easy for us to determine where the flow is being affected. And that's why we want to have these teams that function in this fashion that says we are all working together. Whether we're on different floors, different parts of the building, we are working with one goal in mind, is to accomplish our job safely with this X goal that we have for the day of what we want to put in place for that day. And all the parameters and factors that will hinder or help that project or that mission be accomplished at a high efficient level. That's what we want to do. And when we have those things in place, we are able to identify quickly when there is a breakdown. And it all starts with how we communicate with each other. It all starts on how we are informing our teams of what they have to get done. It may seem like BS to some of you that we have to do these things, that no one's listening to me, or I'm just a boss, just do what I said. I wrote a post the other day and someone says about safety and about treating people with respect. I got a comment that says, just tell them to shut up and just get your job done. So I thought about that. And I sent this person a couple of links of the suicide rates and the high substance abuse rates that we have in construction. And I said, just want to see if you've read this before, because it's not just about telling people to shut up, get their job done. It's recognizing that as a leader, there's a little bit more that we are expected to do. And it's no more about screaming and yelling and the loudest person gets the prize. It's really about how we manage people. And that's what we got to do. And that's what I'm all about, is how we manage people effectively so that they can be empowered to the jobs that they're paid to do, that we want them to do, that we expect them to do. The high pressure that we have and encounter every day in this industry, but we can do it with some dignity, some grace, professionalism, words that we don't always hear in this industry that are meaningful and can be actualized on a job site by you. And we're going to continue on with more about difficult teams, but I first wanted to start with building trust. And so I hope this helps you today in knowing that how important it is to build trust, how you are instrumental in building that trust through how you choose to communicate with your team. So let's be clear, let's be concise, let's have follow-up, let's set clear, defined responsibilities for everyone. Let's be uniform in how when someone breaks and violates our agreement, that there's consistency in how we address the issues. There's no favoritism. I just need you to get your job done. And everybody has a different role. So the apprentice is not doing what the journeyman's doing. The journeyman's not doing what the foreman's doing. The foreman's not doing what the GF's doing, because they all have different roles. They all play an important part, and they're not in competition with each other. They all just have a role. The person with the highest title is more responsible and takes more of the blame. So yes, they might seem to take more of the win when it comes down to the team, but it's always pointed back to the team. That's what a good leader does. So I hope this helps you today, managing difficult teams. Today we talked about trust. Go out there and win some hearts and some minds. You can be the strongest, the fastest, and that's great, but we also need you to know how to lead people, and it takes some different skills. And let's begin with trusting and how we develop that trust on your teams. Make it a great day. Please like this page. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Thank you for listening. I'm Henry Nutt. Appreciate you.